Hi, everybody, and welcome to the June 3rd edition of Litter Media Live on this Tuesday with the icon back in studio, Mike Smith. I'm Dan Ramey, and Aaron Glandon, our boy wonder, is in the clouds right there. You okay? Are you straightened up?
I don't know why my collar never wants to lay right. Sometimes it bunches up over here. Yeah.
I see. Dick Robinson taught me certain things about these shirts. Remember Dick Robinson?
I sure do.
He was a pop quiz on Dan and Mike in the morning for a number of years, and he said he showed me how to hang one of these shirts and how to properly wear them, and so that's why I never have an issue with that.
Was he a TV guy at one point in Zanesville?
Not
because
that
their
I'm aware
radio
of.
also owned the TV station for many years ago.
I don't know that he worked for that radio station. I think he
you.
worked for the one that Rick Sabine was involved with.
Gotcha.
WYBZ. Yeah. All right. Hi, everybody. Hey, welcome to the program.
We have viewers from Zanesville?
I don't know.
If you are watching from Zanesville, we're talking about your town.
If our buddy Dave Hilliard checks in, yes.
Yes.
So there's that. We do have a viewer that's down in Oak Ridge, Tennessee today. My big sister turns, I'm going to say this, 72 today.
Happy birthday, Dad.
Happy birthday to my favorite sister.
The only one.
Yes. She's always been number one. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Coming up in a moment to look at news, weather, sports, this state in history, and anything else we can come up with. But let's start with that forecast for you today.
Beautiful day yesterday, and it's going to be lovely again today. Sunshine today and tomorrow. Highs getting up to around 85. Woo! Where have you been, summer? Well, it's technically not there yet.
It's still waiting.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
But we got to have a little water every once in a while. Rain's back in the picture. Looks like Thursday afternoon, and a chance of that rain each day through Saturday.
All right, there's your forecast. Mike Smith, Mr. Damper. Throws rain out there every once in a while.
Grass has to have water.
It does, and it's
Crops
been getting a
have to
lot
have
of it this spring.
The
No
wheat
question
is coming
there.
along. Look
It
for
is.
the wheat to start changing colors here in about a week or two.
Oh, it's already started. I've
Well,
seen it in a couple of places
Out
already.
where I live, it's still green, but you can tell it's coming.
Yeah, and a lot of hay being cut this week too. So maybe that's why I'm sneezing and everything. I forgot to
We
take my
have
allergy
been
pill.
seeing a couple of fields out our way that it's taller than wheat, much taller, but it has the head like wheat. If anybody can tell me what that is, my wife and I are racking our, what is that? I don't know what it is, but it's almost twice the height of wheat, but the heads look like wheat. So
Maybe it's super wheat.
help me out. What is that what we're seeing?
To reach out to our friends at the Zane Trace FFA or maybe the Miami Trace FFA.
Jen, if you're watching, help me out there.
By the way, happy birthday to Jennifer Johnston. It is her birthday also.
Yeah.
So I'm going to throw that out there. News on the way, but first let's tell you about Scioto Valley Dumpsters, 740-253-8389. I bet Carl could tell you what.
Carl, what is that?
Carl, give him a call, 740-253-8389, and tell him, hey, we need a dumpster, and if you can bring it to my house or you can bring it to my business, they'll take care of that. And then also get an answer to Mike's question about, is it super wheat or no? 740-253-8389.
This is Andy Tomlinson. When ensuring what's important to you, our agents are there when you need us the most. Tomlinson Insurance, for the best coverage at the best cost. Visit us online at tomlinsonins.com to learn more.
Introducing the Petland Litter Media Pet of the Week. We want to put your pet in the spotlight. Pets with paws to pets with fins. If they gallop, crawl, or slither, play fetch, or simply curl up and snuggle. Send us a photo of your pet and we'll announce a new pet each week. And one pet will be crowned Pet of the Year. To nominate your pet, visit littermedia.com. Click on Pet of the Week. Tell us about your pet and be sure to include a photo. Watch Litter Media Live each Thursday for the announcement of the Petland Litter Media Pet of the Week. No purchase necessary. Contest applications must be from Ohio residents and at least 18 years old.
As a professional race car driver, I live for speed, power, and performance on and off the track. That's why I use the Dixie Chopper, the world's fastest lawnmower. Race into your local dealership today and test drive a new Dixie Chopper.
We are back. We're just doing some research. We were discussing wheat and barley. And
trying to see if it's barley or whatever, but I don't know. I don't know what it is.
Even with AI, we can't tell.
Yeah.
So we
probably
have
have
to rely
take a picture
upon the true knowledge of an individual.
If I take a picture of it, is there a way that AI could tell me what would I send it
There's
to?
probably an app for that, and it'll probably cost you money.
$20.
So that's not being done.
No, I'm not going to do that.
Mr. Jack Benny over here.
I don't want to know that bad.
Go to littermedia.com. You'll find everything you need to know about what's going on in our communities, except for what wheat and barley are, the differences there. But Mike may share that with you on littermedia.com if we find out. And you find all of our social media contact information up in the right-hand corner of littermedia.com as well. And that includes YouTube, which has a new video on it this morning we'll tell you about momentarily. But first, what's making news?
For those of you who are motoring along US 23 between Columbus and Portsmouth today, and probably coming through the Chillicothe area at this hour, around 11 o'clock as we do this program, Marine Corporal Nathaniel Edward Curtis passed away back on May the 15th. His body was just returned to Ohio at the Columbus airport. There is a procession that is taking him from Port Columbus south on US 23 from Columbus past Chillicothe through Waverly, Piketon, Lucasville, and then on to to Portsmouth. Actually, they are getting off on Chillicothe Street in Portsmouth and going to FC, I believe it's Deller Mortuary. The hearse will arrive in Portsmouth, for those of you watching down there, at about noon today. And they advised anybody that wanted to come out and pay tribute with a salute to this Marine who is no longer with us, do so today.
I wonder if the Patriot Riders are leading that procession.
Yeah, they didn't say in the comment.
The Ohio Department of Natural Resources and Division of Forestry temporarily closing some of the state forest roads because of the Southern Ohio Forest Rally, which is coming up next weekend. Saturday, June 14th this year, of course, is the wrap-up, but it starts Tuesday, June 10th, and that means there will also be some driving going on through Yaktangi Park, as we learned in our conversation with Jeremiah Johnson here just a couple of weeks ago. You can find that entire interview on our YouTube channel if you want to check that out. But trails impacted this year include Scioto Trails, Shawnee State Forest, and Zaleski State Forest. So keep those things in mind if you are frequenting those state forests next week.
Kick off summer this Thursday with the First Thursday. Join the First Capital Rotary for the First Thursday event of the season on June 5th, that's Thursday, at the Majestic Courtyard at 2nd Street in downtown Chillicothe. Come out for live music, fun vibes, and a great time with friends and neighbors.
And our buddy Kenny Valentine is going to be kicking off the musical, so it'll be Kenny Valentine Band this coming Thursday. The next one is in July, which is the July 3rd, and then August 7th. They always kind of skip that first Thursday in August because of the Ross County Fair. All right, also on June 14th and 15th, Ohio residents invited to Ohio's fantastic public fishing opportunities without purchasing a license. All size and day limits apply during these 2 days. So our church used to do this. So the men would go out and we would fish on fishing-free weekend. And so here's another opportunity for you to do that. Don't forget the Kenworth Truck Parade is also that weekend. So go fish, get back in town in time to watch the truck parade, and then go back out and fish again on what would be Father's Day, June 15th.
Richard Hawk is offering free trolley tours of the Camp Sherman Library, discussing the Camp Sherman Hospital, and then they'll head to the Hopewell Culture National Historical Park for a briefing on the Buffalo Soldiers, Aileen Cole Stewart, and the historical mounds. On their return to the VA, they'll discuss the famous Woodrow Wilson photo that had 22,000 soldiers in it, and a brief on the golf course, the Mace House, Paint Stadium, and some Chillicothe VA history before the tour ends. Now, again, this is a free tour. For those of you who are watching, you see the QR code in the lower left-hand corner. Just hone in on that QR code to sign up, again, for this free tour. And the date, I was just getting ready to give that, is July 9th, July 15th, July 16th. Is the 17th? I can't see underneath there.
It's July 14th through the 19th.
Okay.
You said the 9th, but that's not up there.
Okay, I couldn't tell from this far away whether that was a 9 or a 19. Mm-hmm. It's not either one.
And Mr. Hawk, I just want to make sure you're aware, it's not Paints Memorial Stadium. It's VA Memorial Stadium. The Paints don't own the stadium. Just wanted to throw that out there because people get confused on that.
I'm sure they do.
And Brian Wickline wants to make sure people know that they don't own the stadium, but it's the VA property. You may have to help me on this, Mike. Paint Creek Fire and EMS District announcing their water days dates. Is this where they distribute water?
I think this is a fun event where you get wet.
Ah, gotcha.
So
okay.
I've never seen, I've seen kids play out in front of hydrants when they open the hydrants. They used to do that in the cities all the time during the summer. So
they're planning this right now.
Yeah, this is going to be in Hillsboro, Rocky Fork, and at Greenfield on those respective dates.
So June 20th, July 18th, and August 1st. Even if it's raining, you can expect to get wet because it says rain or shine.
And bring a towel.
That's right. And be ready for some fun.
Our road report today, some resurfacing on U.S. Route 23 between Manufacturing Center Road and the Scioto County line. At least one lane will be maintained during that, which goes through the summer months.
All right, coming up in just a moment, sports, which involves a new video we have up on our YouTube channel for you today. We got Mike out and about in the field, so he's going to have a special report for us coming up in just a moment. But first, let's tell you about Accurate Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, your trusted comfort advisor. When it comes to taking care of those circumstances in your home or business, heating, cooling, and plumbing, they are very important, especially if you're stuck inside. You want to learn more? Click on this ad anywhere you see it at littermedia.com, and it takes you to AccurateHVAC.com.
Wherever you are, you're there for a reason. You shouldn't have to make a trip to the branch just to deposit a check. Skip the trip and use our mobile app to easily and securely deposit checks from your phone. Day or night, wherever you are, or whatever you're doing, download the Kingston National Bank Mobility app today.
Find a career you love with Pickaway Ross Adult Education. Skilled trades careers are in high demand with no signs of slowing down. Pickaway Ross offers career training programs with expert instructors and hands-on learning tactics to create a variety of opportunities. Visit our website for more information.
Discover Ross County. From the breathtaking outdoor adventures to the historic sights of Chillicothe and family-friendly events and festivals. Explore more at visitchillicotheohio.com or download the free mobile app today. The spring sales event continues at Hometown Motors Incorporated at 18 Eastern Avenue in Chillicothe. While supplies last, they've got riding mowers starting at $1699.99, new zero-turn mowers starting at $3399.99, new walk-behinds, they start at $399.99, new chainsaws starting at $279.99, new blowers at $199.99, and new trimmers at $229.99. Hurry in to get the best selection. These prices aren't going to last long, so make sure you get in. It's still spring. June doesn't. Right. It's not entirely summer.
Yeah.
So find out more when you stop in at Hometown Motors Incorporated, your store for the outdoors. Time for sports, and we start with an outdoor event going on right now, even as we speak.
Yeah, for the fourth year, Unioto High School has played host to the Cincinnati Reds Baseball Camp. This is for boys and girls. They established this, as you can see on their logo, back in 2012. But it's the fourth year in a row that Unioto has hosted. They actually do camps throughout the tri-state, Cincinnati tri-state, Ohio, Kentucky, Indiana. But they always start right here in Chillicothe. Well, the fellow that helped get this thing going was Unioto baseball maintenance supervisor Dwayne Potter. And we talked to Dwayne this morning out at the ball field.
Talking now with Dwayne Potter. This is the guy that is the groundskeeper out at Unioto Baseball Diamonds for years. And he also is behind the Cincinnati Reds camp that he brings in here every year. Dwayne, how many years have the Reds been bringing their camp to Unioto?
This makes the fourth year in a row now, so love it.
And as they told us, they travel all over the tri-state, and they always usually start right here.
Yep, ever since 4 years ago it started, we've been the first camp to host it.
How did you come up with the idea?
Mike White asked me if I'd be interested in making a little bit of money for baseball, and Reds were interested in coming to have our camp here. And I said yes, and been here ever since.
How many kids have probably participated in now the 4 years that they've come?
It's ranged from low 70s to mid 80s now this year. So
each year that many?
Yeah, each year.
So what's 2026 look like as far as a camp? And if you're having it again, how can kids sign up?
They can sign up through the Reds page for youth camp. But if they ask me to have it, I'll have it again next year.
And this is open to boys and girls? What age group?
6 years old to, I do believe, like 12, 13 years old.
Dwayne, thanks for all you do, not only for Unioto, for the kids that come out to the Reds camp.
Thank you.
And Dwayne said they have about 80 campers out there. And these aren't just kids from Unioto. They're from all over the area. And as Dwayne said, if you want to sign up for next year, go to the Reds Camp website, and there's registration information. But I was just the fellow in the Reds outfit there on the right. That's Tommy. And I said, Tommy, where are you from? And he's from Chicago. And I said, wait a minute, how did you get on with the Reds camp?
I thought he was a camper. He looks like he's about 12 years old.
But he's like 20 years old, and he's from the south side of Chicago. So he said, I'm kind of a White Sox fan. So, Tommy, welcome to Chillicothe along with the rest of the crew.
So he was happy with how the Reds and White Sox series went a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Because I think it was we took one of the 3 games.
One of the 3. And then the Cubs did us in, too. By the way, in relation to this camp, Aaron Glenn has already posted the package video production where we also talk with Ross Lunsford, who is the Reds representative on this trip. And he'll give a little bit more background about what all happens out at the camp that goes through this week.
As they get uniforms, and they're going to go to a Reds game this Friday night, so they'll get a chance to see the Diamondbacks this weekend, and it should be a lot of fun. Congratulations, kids. Wish we could have done that when I was a kid.
Oh, yeah.
Closest we came to was Valley Vista, and I always read about it in the Circleville Herald, but I never got to go to it.
I was there for a week and met Ted Klazuski, and that was neat.
Big clue. The Southern Ohio Conference all league teams have been announced, and the baseball champions, Southwestern, Northwest, and Green, highlight the list of all SOC honors for 2025. Wheelersburg, Sims Valley, and Notre Dame named to the lion's share of the all-SOC softball awards for 2025. And Wheelersburg and Notre Dame have advanced to the state final 4 spots for the postseason, Sims Valley finishing as a regional runner-up. Congratulations, kids.
So, in other words, the Southern Ohio Conference is pretty doggone tough.
Yeah. Have you heard that Portsmouth is joining the SOC?
No, I have not.
I saw this last night on Facebook. I know you can't always believe everything that you read, but I think they were saying starting in the 2027 school year, Portsmouth will be a member of the SOC. And that, I'm telling you, it's heads up. Waverly, it's time to join in. Unioto, it's time to join the FAC. may never happen.
There's
but
currently 13 teams in the SOC, but they're split up over 3 divisions. So I'm guessing they'd probably go into
the
Division
big
1
division
or
from what we're
3.
hearing.
That's the thing I don't understand. If the big division should be 1, but they're 3. So you didn't ask for my opinion,
but you got it
there
anyway.
You go.
And it was free.
Yeah, free. Well, so far. Regional semifinal baseball action gets underway involving some of our area teams today. Unioto faces London at 5 p.m. in the Division 4 at Ohio University. Taze Valley plays Loveland at 2 p.m. in Xenia. This is at the Athletes in Action field over there for Division 2. And in Division 5, Ironton squares off against Fairfield Christian and Mason. Now, it's kind of odd. There's some other teams in some of these same divisions, but they don't play all of the regionals on the same day. Remember, with the 7-division format, finding fields to host all of these games causes some date changes. So in the past, if you were in this division, in this region, you played your semifinals on the same game. That's not necessarily the case there. But follow along all the scores each evening on our Litter Media scoreboard at littermedia.com.
We heard so much about competitive balance, and they said, okay, in order to make competitive balance, we're going to stretch it over all these different divisions, when really what everybody wanted was just have the Catholic schools play each other and the public schools play each other, and that would solve a lot of the issue in some people's minds.
Yeah, still hasn't worked out as very competitive in some of these divisions.
Precisely. Reds fell through the Brewers last night. Thought they were going to get things done last night. Thought they were going to come back. But the Brewers have won 8 of the last 12, I think, against the Reds, and find themselves down 3-2 last night, now 3 games under 500. They'll go back at it again this evening. The Guardians open up a 3-game set in New York with the Yankees tonight.
The guy that's the TV announcer for the Reds, John
Sadak.
I'm pretty sure I was awake when he said this. I couldn't make heads or tails of what he said the Reds' home record is in the last 18 games. It sounded like he was saying they've won only 4 out of the last 18.
No, that was where he was talking about against the Brewers.
Okay, because I got to looking at the home and away records. I thought that doesn't make any sense. So
Laura Smith, this is why
she was already upstairs.
She's always right, and Mike doesn't always get all the information.
Or as my Uncle Doc would say, I said that.
Yeah. He thought that probably is the case. Yeah. Then the Ohio Village.
This is a real baseball.
Muffins will show up. This is how baseball was intended to be.
Forget the Reds.
Forget gloves. Give me a bat and a ball. We're going to go out and barehanded and make it happen when men were men. The Ohio Village Muffins come back to Chillicothe this coming Saturday. And the Adena Worthingtons, who, full disclosure, I am the team captain. We will be as prepared as we possibly can be. I'm not playing this year. I'm merely the guy who's going to take the fall for whatever happens.
You're the Terry Francona of the Worthingtons.
Yes. And so...
Is everybody going to show up?
That's the thing. We have expanded our roster to something like 40 guys now. And so over the years, we have juggled this lineup. It's been a piece together patchwork of just fellows that are a ragtag bunch. And we've added, I believe, 5 new players this year, some of who have never played vintage baseball. So we'll have to go over the rules again for them. And it's my understanding that David Boop, who has been an Adena Muffington before, there's been times where we've only had like 7 guys, and we borrowed some from the Muffins, so we call them Muffingtons. See the play on the word there. David is captaining the team, so he can't play for us this year. But he said that we've got about 16 guys who have signed up to make sure we're down. So the Muffins will be full strength. Looking forward to that. And we've had a great relationship with these guys over the last decade. And started in 2015, and here we are getting ready to start our 11th. It's not our 11th meeting because we've played there. We have played at VA Memorial Stadium a couple of times. So this is like our 18th game, something like that. So, and yes, like the Reds, we're below 500.
So if competitive balance comes in, you're actually competing against Columbus, against Chillicothe, as far as the opportunity to go out and get talent.
in some respects, but a lot of these guys don't live in Columbus. There's a really good player. He's a short fella, and I never can remember his name. He's shorty in my book, but he is from Lancaster.
Oh, really?
And but they're a bunch of fellas that are from around the area. Many of them are historians, and you'd think, okay, here comes this doctor, whatever, coming in to share all this, and then boom, you'll hit a ball and run like a deer. It's amazing. It really is. But
they might need a doctor at the end of the contest.
We have had Dr. John Gabus has been for a long time our team coroner. So there have been times where it seemed we needed a coroner.
You don't want to call him on the scene. By the way, this is a free event.
It is free. Starts at 2:00.
But there's also opportunities to go through the mansion?
Yes, the mansion will be open. You'll be able to go through there. I was up last week, visited the grounds, and remember I was talking about baling hay?
Yeah.
The field looked like that, but they were working on it at the time, and I was guaranteed that it will be in playing shape. Now, we played in 2023 in tall grass.
Yeah.
I mean, you couldn't see our feet.
This is the hidden ball trick.
Yes, but there is still a bunch of piles of grass all over the place, and it rained a little bit.
As long as it's only grass that there's piles of out there.
So when you're playing in the outfield and you're doing what you can, and fortunately in vintage baseball, you can catch it on a single bound. That's one bounce for those of you that aren't in on the terminology there. But as the Muffins remind us, but any 10-year-old boy can do that. But sometimes you wait for that ball to land in front of you because you can't run up and get to it in time.
Yeah.
It will either bounce and not come to you. It will go east or west. Sometimes it'll die right there in front of you. Mm-hmm. And so it's a lot of fun. The fans always seem to enjoy it. And there's plenty of shade over in the trees where a lot of the people will sit. Of course, the Worthingtons always do the manly thing. We let them enjoy the shade. We stand out in the sun. Yeah. But we will bring canopies so that we can have that. But it's a lot of fun. It's free. It's only about 2 hours, and we'll see how it goes. Mm-hmm. This coming Monday, we'll have a full report for you.
Yeah.
All right. That's a look at sports. Coming up in a moment, this date in history as we go back to
1943. When a time that apparently a violent situation turns into a fashion statement. That's coming up next. But first of all, we want to tell you about Litter Quality Propane. 92 years of serving propane users in southern and central Ohio. Reliable supply, reliable service, reliable people. Litter Quality Propane.
Each week, we'll announce the Neil Coleman Insurance Wyandotte Mutual Litter Media Player of the Week, presented by Homeland Credit Union. And in December, we'll announce the Player of the Year. Nominate any amateur athlete by visiting littermedia.com and click on Player of the Week. You'll also see the players we've named throughout the year. Make your nomination today for the Neil Coleman Insurance Wyandotte Mutual Litter Media Player of the Week, presented by Homeland Credit Union.
I was looking for a first job. I had been babysitting and decided it was something for a little more permanent. It pays very well. It's convenient. You can make your own schedule with the flexibility. That's something that I like. The people that I work with are great. I wouldn't ask for a better crew or management team to work for.
Life. It can get on top of you quickly, can't it? But with 211, it only takes one step to get connected to the help you need. 211 is always available to help. So get in touch today.
The Bean Foundation wants to raise awareness about suicide prevention by sharing 988. Trained crisis counselors are available to talk 24/7, 365 days a year. 988. Save the number. Save a life. To learn more about the Bean Foundation, click on this ad on littermedia.com.
Now time for This State in history.
Yeah, this incident, which actually was kind of a violent incident in 1943, a group of U.S. sailors marching through downtown Los Angeles carrying clubs and other makeshift weapons and attacking anyone wearing what was called a zoot suit, the baggy wool pants, oversized coats, and pork pie hats favored by many men of color, not just African Americans, but also Mexican, Filipino, Italian, Japanese Americans wore these suits. But oftentimes, even though this was kind of a fashion statement among some of these folks, when something happens that makes news where everybody around the country sees it, then it's like, wait a minute, I think I like that. It becomes a fashion statement.
You ever had a zoot suit?
I have not, but I have seen cartoon characters. I've seen movies, pictures. So it seems to have kind of started out on the West Coast, but it then filtered throughout the country as a fashion statement because of something that was very unpleasant, violent, that happened because it made national news that it kind of, the style that they saw in the pictures kind of caught on. So kind of odd how things work like that sometimes.
I think the last fashion statement I remember Mike making, and this will be helpful to you, Aaron, is when MC Hammer had the big jumpsuit pants where the crotch hung down between
parachute pants.
Parachute pants. Yeah.
No, those weren't parachute pants.
Are you sure?
MC Hammer pants.
Well, they were. The parachute pant craze was before them, and that was more like the cargo pants. They had the pockets on the side and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, the MC Hammer pants were baggy. Yeah.
But it's odd also, talking about fashion, how things that were, let's say, in the roaring 20s, you think, well, that'll never come back. Well, it has in some respects.
Well, we ever thought some of the 70s stuff would come back. And what's crazy is, I've been watching Mannix. MeTV has been playing this at like 2:00 in the morning, so I've been recording them, and I thought I'm going to watch all 8 seasons, and so watching how the styles have changed, and I thought to myself, whoever would have thought that checkered suit that he's wearing would go with the striped tie and the funky looking pants and shirt, You wouldn't be caught dead walking out like that today, But back then, it was a fashion statement there.
I think there was an episode of Everyone Loves Raymond where Robert and Ray's wife go dancing, and it's kind of like a 1940s music, and Robert's wearing a zoot suit because he's trying to fit into
the big chain on his, out of his pocket and everything.
So, yeah. I've never been into fashion. I just wear what's comfortable and go with that.
And what your wife buys you.
I guess she has to coordinate the colors. Now, when I first started in the radio news, I was wearing a suit and tie.
I remember seeing the picture.
And then
it was in black and white.
The muckety mucks from the corporation come to visit us, and they're wearing blue jeans. And I'm thinking, wait a minute. Nobody's going to see me wearing this tie because it's radio, not TV. So we kind of went away. Another thing that's big I don't know if it still is a fashion statement, wearing a suit, jacket, and tie with blue jeans. That got to be a common thing, especially among executives.
Yeah, I've seen it still today. Yeah. Even the guys on TV, the sportscasters, some will be wearing tennis shoes throughout the whole thing.
Yeah. Oh, well. Maybe we need a fashion coordinator here on the...
No.
Somebody could come in and give the fashion report.
Don't give people ideas.
No, Matt. No.
Ideas that involve us.
Yeah.
All right. That's it for the program today. We're back at it again tomorrow, and we've got a couple of feelers out for some special editions, so we've just now received confirmation on those. So we may have some special shows for you coming up before too long, too. I know later this week we'll have a visit with Tiffany Baldwin to talk about Brewfest, which is coming up this weekend. So you've got First Thursdays, Brewfest. You've got the Arts in the Streets event that will be taking place in 2nd Street. Downtown Chillicothe is going to be active this week. No question there. So, and of course, it continues throughout the month of June as well. If you want to find out more, you can always go to our website where we've covered a lot of these events, as well as our YouTube channel for more details. So for Aaron Glandon and Mike Smith, I'm Dan Ramey. We'll see you soon on another edition of Litter Media Live.